Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Natsu here, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about things that I liked and that I did not like about the Marvel Tōkon Fighting Souls open beta test. And like the Avatar Legends closed beta video that I did, this will be minimally edited. It's not going to have a whole lot of fancy stuff going on. I'm just going to use one match footage, like footage from just one set, and I'm not gonna edit the audio too much, so if there's any mistakes, honestly, I don't care that much. I just wanted to get my thoughts out, and that's pretty much it. So without further ado, let's get started. So we can get this right out of the way. The performance issues on the PC beta port were terrible and inexcusable, and we know that the devs have acknowledged it and that they're going to fix them as we approach full release. So we don't even got to talk about it because everyone knows the PC port was bad and it needs fixing very, very badly, and before release, because there's just no two ways about it. So we don't got to talk about that. We've got that out of the way. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, we can actually talk about things that I liked and disliked about the beta itself. So let's start with characters. I really liked pretty much every character I tried. They all felt unique and distinct, and they do their own things. And I like how, even though this game is very clearly more MVCI and BB tag and 2XKO like, in the sense that you're going to be tagging in and out a lot, especially like BB tag. This is a very BB tag like game. So you're incentivized to switch around your team a lot, which is great. But even then, some characters feel like you can kind of just mess with just them and then use assists. You don't really need to swap necessarily. Like, for example, Green Goblin is a character that, while I played against him, and the little, very minuscule amount that I labbed, I thought, wow, this character is very complex. He's got a lot of shit he can do. He's going to be a complicated character that's going to take time to learn, and you can probably mess with just him for a good while. And I like that. I like that about a lot of the characters. They felt like that, where you first want to learn to maximize their potential, and then you start adding in tags, and then doing the same thing with your other characters, and then it just becomes a whole infinite black hole, endless pit of potential, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what that felt like, and that was cool. Now, on to get into a more specific character, Ghost Rider, Robbie Reyes, my man, my favorite Marvel character, period. Right? I love Robbie Reyes. I have a couple of his comics. I feel like I have like 4, maybe 5 of them. I don't remember, but I like Robbie Reyes a lot, and I'm very happy that he's the Ghost Rider that was chosen for this game. I would have fucked with anybody that they chosen because I like Ghost Rider in general, but they picked my favorite, so I have to represent. You know what I'm saying? So Robbie Reyes was very fun. I very much enjoyed his moveset. There were things I did not like, but a lot of it I did like. So what did I like about Robbie Reyes' moveset? I liked the range. 2M, 5H, jump 6H, jump H, jump 2H. Those normals are great. They felt really good to use in offense. They felt good to use for counter poking, for neutral, for longer range pressure. Just great. What else? So I like his specials generally. I like Flame Carpet. Flame Carpet is a good tool. I think it could be a little bit better. I think the hitbox could be just a little bit taller, just a little bit. Same with 2M. 2M's hitbox was really short for some reason, and it kind of bothered me a little bit for certain hit confirms. I like the Rekka. The Rekka's cool. Could use a safe follow-up. Or maybe, like, so in his Rekka, his quarter circle back, it's called Judgment Cradle, and he swings the chain around. He has follow-ups he can do right before the final hit, which is the auto follow-up. It's kind of like a demon flip in that regard with the follow-up. So he has the A follow-up lets him dash forward into the opponent, and I wish he had a backlight follow-up so that he could dash backwards, and that would be kind of more of a safe-ish follow-up, because none of his follow-ups are safe except the heavy overhead follow-up, but that one is very slow, so you can react to it, and also it puts him airborne, so you can anti-air it if you're looking out for it. It's pretty bad, and generally like you might say, oh, but you should cover the follow up with your assist so that way it becomes gapless or hard to hit. And you're right, but at the same time, the way his combo structure works is that you want to do the Rekka into the follow up and then call assist to confirm off of that. So you're wasting, excuse me, you're wasting potentially 2 assist stocks just to make your Rekka safe and actually land as a mix-up. So I think just giving him a safer follow-up solves all your problems, because then if they're blocking, you just, oh, I'm just going to do the safe follow-up and not do anything else and end my pressure and then try to go back to neutral, right? And I know, it's an open beta. Why are we talking about giving buffs and nerfs to characters? It's just a gut reaction thing. It's like a in the moment thought, right? And that's like the one thing I didn't really like at all, is that he has no reliable and safe follow-ups to his Rekkas. So back to the moveset of the character. I feel like Hellfire could use a little bit of extra range, but otherwise I think it's great. I love his theme, I love his voice, I love his animations, I love the way he looks. He's just a great character. He's my GOAT. I'm very excited to play him in full release. And yeah, right now, in the matches that I've uploaded, I've basically just been playing Ghost Rider, Blade, Doom, Magic in that order, and I mostly just play Ghost Rider. Sometimes I switched a bit to Blade to try him out. And Ghost Rider is basically just what I'm going to play for like the first 2 or 3 weeks of the game. I'm not going to focus on anybody else. I will be loving Blade in the meantime and a little bit of Magic, but for now, I'm just going to focus on Robbie, and the others are assist fodder that I keep for making my character better. And at some point, I will start incorporating tags into my gameplay, and those characters, I will have something learned with them by then. Ideally, I would play Carnage instead of Doom, but that depends on Carnage's assists, because Doom's air and vertical assists are very, very good. So it's going to be tough to replace that. So if I really like Carnage's gameplay-wise, I might just do it even if the assist is worse, because I want to be able to play all 4 characters eventually. So, moving on from characters and more specifically Ghost Rider, I want to talk about the assist system. Now, the way this game works is different compared to traditional team games. Team games usually have 1, maybe 2 characters that you also pick, and then you have an assist button for that character. Unlike those games, Marvel Tōkon has 1 additional slot for 4 total characters on your team, and that would be a lot of buttons. So they decided that instead they're going to have 1 assist button. And the assist you call depends entirely on the direction your character is on the team, right? Their team position. So if they're the second character on the team order-wise, then their forward assist is the one you call, and it does a specific thing, and that's it. And it'll only change mid-match if you change the order. I think that's pretty cool. I like that. It's interesting. And it opens up some interesting team composition discussion, because you have a character like Magic who's got pretty good assists all around, in particular her back assist, in my opinion. And then she's also really strong on point. So you have to think about who you want to play on point and what assist you want to give them, because they're going to matter a lot. Granted, you probably should, in the long run, right? You should not care too much about scrambling your team, but at first you will care. And if you're going to be scrambling your team order around mid-match, like let's say you have Magic as your back assist, and then at some point you tag her in for a combo, and then now Ghost Rider's in the back, but then as your Magic you call out another assist, and then you swap to them, and now Magic is suddenly your forward assist. You've just scrambled your team order. You got to make sure that your assists that you're running, you're all comfortable with, and every character on the team can make some use of them. So it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a kind of a Pokemon competitive team building exercise in a way, because in competitive Pokemon, you got to fucking, like, do out some spreadsheets and shit, man. Like, that shit it gets complicated. You got to, like, think of a lot of things when you make your team in Pokemon. I think more than any other tag fighter, Marvel Tōkon will require you to really sit down and think what you want to do, why you want to do it, and how you're going to accomplish that with these characters, and how you're going to adapt to various situations when you swap your order around. Now, in the topic of assists, people online have been generally saying that it feels a little clunky. And by that I mean calling assists feel a little clunky. A lot of people were talking about how it's just kind of the timing to do it felt a little awkward, and that you can and cannot call assist at certain points, and it makes it feel a little restrictive, but in a way that is uncomfortable. And I tend to agree. There are certain situations you can't call assist, and some you can. For example, in Dragon Ball FighterZ, which is the fighting game that I played the most, you can call assist pretty much at any point, for better and for worse, right? You can call assist right at the tail end of your move, whether it's on hit or whiff or block, and so it felt very fluid, right? You call your assist, and it's really fluid. You just call them, they show up, they do their thing, and then they leave. In Marvel Tōkon, it's not necessarily like that. You call your assist, but only you can only do it sometimes. Like, for example, when you exit block stun, you have to wait like a solid second before you can call your assist, which I guess is fine, but it felt a little weird. It felt kind of clunky. When you're doing a move, you can call them on hit or block, but only sometimes. I feel like the way it works, from when I played, it kind of felt like a special cancel in a way, because it seemed like a similar timing. Like, you can't delay the assist call as much, and it's also kind of strict sometimes. It was strange. I feel like that's more of a quality of life feature for the most part, just to make it feel more fluid. I'm not entirely sure what the issue is, so I don't know how I would fix it, or what I would suggest to alleviate that awkwardness, that clunkiness that people are feeling with the assist calls. So we'll just have to wait and see what it is. Maybe in the future, when the game's out and I have more time with it, I'll be able to more accurately conclude or diagnose what my issue with the assist calling is. So we'll see. However, this does bring me to another mechanic that's related to assists that I thought was a bit weird, and that was tagging. Now, tagging, generally, in team games like Dragon Ball FighterZ and Marvel vs. Capcom, is pretty simple. All you gotta do is hold the assist button, and then after a little while, your character comes in and switches out. In the case of Dragon Ball and I think 2XKO is also like this. If you can do it quicker, right? So in Dragon Ball, you can quick tag out of specials by pressing by holding the tag button or doing like forward plus assist with the character you want, and then you switch in the character quickly. In Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite and in BB Tag, you don't do that. You actually have a tag button, a dedicated tag button. However, this game has a lot more buttons than those, because you have 4 attack buttons, plus your assist button, and then your tag button. So you've got, like, that's what, 7 buttons that you've got to run, essentially. Even though, in my opinion, the tag button is unnecessary, because the way it works, right, is you call your assist, and then you can swap to them by pressing tag. But if you want to raw tag out, you have to press the button with the direction of the assist, which makes sense. But it's like, why do I have to do this instead of just holding the assist button with the direction, or like double tapping? Now, I never played any of the closed betas because I don't have a PS5, so I had to only play on the open beta. So I don't know everything that's changed from closed beta to open beta. But from what I hear, according to my friends and other people who have played closed betas on the PS5, is that before you could double tap assist to switch out your character. You didn't need a tag button. You just pressed assist twice in a row. You double tapped it, kind of like how you double tap the shield button in Under Night In-Birth to do your chain shift, right? You double tap D, and that's how you chain shift. So you double tap assist, and that's how you would tag out. That seems perfectly fine for me, I think, right? What I would do is I would reintroduce that mechanic. So that way, if you don't want to have the tag button, you don't have to use it. But if you do, then you can put it on, right? It's like the dash macro. In this game, you can dash with the dash button, but also you can dash macro manually by pressing light plus medium. So you have some variety, you have options with as far as your control scheme goes. And that's what I really wanted to talk about, or just to mention. Like, I want the options to customize my control scheme a little more freely. All right, now that we've gone over characters and assists and tagging, I want to talk a little bit about offense, defense, and neutral. So we'll start with neutral. So the neutral in this game is a lot like Dragon Ball. You're going to be running around and you're going to be jumping around a lot, and you're going to be calling your assists for neutral. That's why, in my opinion, projectile assists are pretty strong, and particular projectile anti-air assists like Doctor Doom and Magneto, especially if their air assist also has a good angle with a projectile, right? Doom and Magneto are also good examples of this. Spider-Man is a good example of this, where his air... Spider-Man and Star-Lord, actually, are both characters that have air projectile assists, because if you didn't know, jumping in this air, or in this game, high in the air, like a super jump height level, or you jump and then double jump pretty much instantly, when you call assist, the assist will actually show up in the air and do a different assist than the one that they do on the ground. And the air assist, as I've been calling it, is pretty important. So you want a good air assist, right? Magic Dive Kick is pretty good. That's her air assist. Spider-Man does air web shot, and Doctor Doom does air plasma beam, or I guess it's called the auric ray, but I'm calling it plasma beam because I like plasma beam. And then Magneto does the mag cannon, I think that's what it's called. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's called mag cannon. It's the big fireball. So those characters do projectile assist when they're in the air. So you want a good air assist also, not just a good assist like Doom's anti-air beam. Right? That one's a good assist, but his air assist is also good. That's what makes that team slot for Doom particularly strong, in my opinion. So in neutral, you're basically jumping around a lot, and you're running around a lot, and if you have the range, you're throwing out something, right? If you're Magic or Spider-Man, maybe you throw out a projectile here and there, and then you call an assist. If you're a Ghost Rider, you're just pressing buttons, right? You're doing 2M, you're doing jump 6H, you're doing grounded 5H, you're doing air jump H. Like, you're just doing that stuff, and maybe throwing out Judgment Cradle, which is quarter circle back, aka his Rekka. So you're going to be calling assist and doing that thing, right? You're doing that stuff. So what I would do a lot is I would jump and do jump 6H, or like air dash jump 6H, while I called an assist. Maybe I called Doom on the ground, and then I jumped and I did jump 6H. Or maybe I called Blade to do his gunshot assist, and then I would jump, and then I would do some jump 6H. Or maybe I would call Doom and then run forward and then press 5H, or something like that. So neutral felt a lot like Dragon Ball in that sense. Super Dash was not a factor, so that was neat. But the fact that you have 3 assists you could call, and the cooldown for them is... Sorry about that. The cooldown for them is not super long. It's a lot less than Dragon Ball. So neutral felt very assist heavy, even more so than a lot of team games. And you got to really play well around that. I kind of liked it. I liked the way it felt. Moving around felt pretty good for the most part. Robbie is slow, so it took some getting used to. But generally, I think neutral's good. And in order to make things safer, you're like doing... for example, if I'm playing Ghost Rider and I get a 5H on block, and then I do 214M, and then they block it, I could call it assist sped to stock. And that... excuse me. Goodness gracious. I should cut that out, but I won't. Sorry, I'm a little lazy today, and I'm a little scrapped for time, because I'm trying to release this video at 6, and it's 1:49 right now. So anyways, back to the video. So if I do that, right, and I call my assist, I expend the stock of the assemble meter, and then I can just keep pressure. So the game turns out very assist heavy, but in a generally fine way. In pressure, it can be kind of tricky and a little scummy. I was playing in Spider-Man, Black Panther, and Penny Parker a good bit, and those characters are pretty scary when they get you blocking. They can do a lot of 50-50s, and especially Panther and Penny. So it's like neutral felt good, but it's a little bullshit, and that's to be expected from a tag game. And then offense was really bullshit, in my opinion, because some characters just get to fuck you over, man. It's like Penny, Panther, Magic, Spider-Man. Honestly, to an extent, Star-Lord, but I didn't play against Star-Lord a whole lot. But I just feel it in my heart that that character is going to be really strong on offense on release. Like, when people figure that shit out, or when I fight someone who's really got that shit down, it's going to be annoying as fuck. So those characters have really strong offense, in my opinion, and then you got characters that can't really do the same things, and it's a little inconsistent. Like, for example, Robbie has to work so much harder just to open you up safely, right? That's it's a little sad. And yes, of course, it's my character. I'm gonna fucking downplay and I'm gonna beg for buffs because I want my character to be good, even though he's already good. I just want my character to be super duper awesome and epic. But whatever, that's irrelevant. My point is that some characters just were a little too strong in this scenario, right? Penny in particular was really strong and felt a little unfair sometimes because of the way she did things. And, like, I don't know. So we can talk more about defense now as a segue. I think anti-airs they're strong depending on the character. So Ghost Rider, I have no qualms about saying this, has easily the worst 2H in the game. That shit is fucking terrible. It's really bad. In 90% of cases, you don't want to 2H. 2H with Ghost Rider is just bad. It's slow. It has a lot of recovery. The angle is not great. And the hitbox is particularly bad, man. Like, that shit will whiff in front of people on the ground. Like, if they're fucking in front of you on the ground and you throw out 2H, that shit is gonna whiff half the time, dude. It's really bad normal, right? It has no horizontal range, only vertical. And my main issue with that is that it makes it really hard to anti-air with, because it's also not a fast normal. It's like 11, 12 frames, something like that. So it's not like super slow, but it's not very fast either. Now, what I would do is I would add a 3H, down forward heavy, with a slightly more aggressive horizontal angle, right? Like, it's a diagonal, but less upwards and more kind of like in the middle, like a 45-degree kind of angle. Because his 2H is like close to 90 degrees. That's like a what? Like 85, 80-degree angle. It's really sharp. I want something that's, and if 5H is a completely pure horizontal move, he should have a 3H that's kind of in the middle of 2H and 5H, right? That's my opinion. It doesn't even need head invulnerability. I just want a move that I can throw out to cover that space, because he doesn't have any moves that really cover that space in a good manner, because his Rekka doesn't really cover that space. And then Hellfire is another horizontal move, except it's fast but short range. And then Flame Carpet is entirely grounded. It's a low, right? So I don't want to have to rely on assist to cover that angle. So yeah. But then you have characters that have good 2Hs, like Magic, and Blade has a pretty decent 2H, if you ask me. I think that who else had a good 2H? Penny Penny has a decent 2H. I don't remember how good I felt about it. Black Panther has a good 2H though. Magneto has a decent 2H. Doom has a good 2H actually. And who else did I fight? I fought Spider-Man. Spider-Man has a kind of a bad 2H. It was not great. Fuck. Who else? Danger 2H is okay. It's not a bad normal. So 2H is like, some of them are really good, some of them are not, and it's a bit inconsistent, especially considering there's a lot of crazy air mobility going around. In particular, I'm looking at Spider-Man. Spider-Man is very hard to anti-air. And then Penny does not have the same movement, but she has this pendulum swing, kind of like a Shenko in Marvel and Darkstalkers. And that move is pulse and block. And you get combos on hit, and you get a free 50-50 if you do it close to the ground. You can't anti-air her after she's done with that move. You just can't anti-air her, right? And it's very difficult to anti-air her when she's doing the startup of it. So while she's actually doing it, and like right before she does it, it's hard to hit her out of it. So what I found that I can do is that I can invulnerable super the startup if she doesn't cover it with an assist. But if she does, then you have to hold it. And it's like, wow, that's kind of unfortunate. And one of the tools the game presents to you defensively to deal with something like that is guard cancel. However, guard cancel is generally kind of easy to defeat, you know? At least it looked easy to beat. I never did it because I'm bad. But essentially, guard cancel works by pressing light and the assist button with the direction of the character you want to use for the guard cancel and doing it on block. So if I press back, light plus assist, then my back assist, which in this case is magic, is going to do it for me. If your opponent sees you and reacts to the guard cancel while they're attacking and then presses their own guard cancel, they defeat your guard cancel. If they time it right, you get disassembled, which means you can't use assist calls at all or tag out for a period of time. It's like 6 seconds, maybe 8. I don't remember. I didn't count, but it felt like a decent amount of time, right? Now, there's another defensive mechanic with a similar input that you can use called actually I don't know what it's called, but it's basically a V shift, right? Because it's like an invincible guard. It's an invincible like backdash counter thing with guard point, and if it connects, your character doesn't attack, and then if you have the assist not on cooldown, like if the assist available, they will do a follow-up attack. And then what else do you have? You have supers that are invulnerable, but the wake-up reversal timing felt very weird. Sometimes I was like mashing on the fucking DP, the easy input version for super, and I just didn't get it. And this didn't happen to just me, right? Big Butt Jackson, my friend Big Butt Jackson was having issues with it. My friend Sonny, I think, was having issues with it. I know that Cinnamon was also having issues with it. And it was kind of like why is this happening like this situation? So I think defense needs to be buffed a little bit. What would I do? First of all, I would just change the input for doing the V shift. I would change that. I would change that to medium plus assist and directions. That way, there's no overlap. That's why on block, if there's a little bit of a gap, you could use that instead of guard cancel. Because there were times where I tried to do the V shift and I did not get it. I got guard cancel and then I got immediately fucked for it. Because the game didn't give me what I actually wanted to do. So I feel like that's one way they could improve defense. Just separate the inputs so that there's no overlap. And that way you could do either or in defense. They could, I don't know, maybe make it so that you could do a guard cancel with your point character that does not cost assemble meter. Instead, it costs 50 super meter, and it cannot be broken. It's just a traditional guard cancel. That's another option they could do. Maybe make it so that the reversal timing on certain things for in defense for your supers is a little less strict, so that way you could use them a little more easily. I don't know. Defense felt a little weak at times. It felt like if I got shit put on in a Black Panther or Penny really dirty mix-up situation that's covered by assist where, like, it's tough to figure out what to do out of it. Like, oh, maybe I can guard cancel, but they'll block it, or, like, they'll counter it, or I could try doing the V-shift, but maybe I'm not going to get it because of the input overlap and the way that works. Maybe I could try supering, but I don't know if it's going to work. Maybe I could try anti-airing. Maybe I could try jabbing. Oh, God, excuse me. I almost choked on that. I need to take a breath. So, you could try a lot of things, but a lot of them might not work. I feel like just that was... The offense felt very one-sided compared to defense. Like, offense is so much stronger than defense. And generally, I feel like team games, like tag games, tend to have strong defensive options, right? In Marvel, you've got a guard cancel, right? You have the alpha counter... you have a lot of invulnerability moves. You have push block is really good. And then in Dragon Ball, you have reflect. You have perfect reflect. You have a bunch of invul moves. You have 2 different guard cancels, among other things. So there's a lot of good defensive options that you can use to make the overwhelming offense more bearable. And I feel like Tōkon just needs a little bit of an extra push on the defense front there. To land the right balance, I feel. And so now that I've talked about neutral and offense and defense, what else is left? I think I already mentioned that. I think the music is really good, the visuals are really good, the effects are really good, blah, 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 blah. Aesthetically, the game is baller as fuck. The game is just phenomenal. Amazing. It just looks really good, and it sounds really good. So, very excited about that. The gameplay, there's a couple other small things that are a little weird. One in particular that I just remembered that is actually really important, arguably the most important for me personally, is lights have too much recovery on whiff. So generally in most fighting games, when you whiff a light normal, it's not a big deal. They're quick, they don't do a lot of damage, and they're short range and they're safe. That's generally how lights work in basically every fighting game. And in that sense, they don't have a lot of recovery. Usually it's like what, 12 frames, 15 at most. In this game, lights have 23 frames of recovery if it's a standing light. If it's a crouching light, it's 24 frames of recovery. And at least with Ghost Rider, jump light was also 24 frames of recovery. Now, this, in my opinion, is because they removed with auto combo. So, like Dragon Ball Fighters, in this game, you could whiff your light and continue on to do the rest of your auto combo on whiff. So, I think that's why it was like that, where jab recovery is high, because you could just whiff cancel it. But they removed that in this beta. You can't whiff cancel anymore. Actually, they might have done it in the previous closed beta. I'm not sure, but I know this was a thing before. You could whiff your light and go into the auto combo. Now you can't do that. And so I think that they forgot to compensate for that fact that you can no longer do that. So what I would do is I would either bring back the whiff auto combo, which I think in this game, with how hectic it is and how the neutral works and how pressure works, wouldn't really be that crazy, because it's not like auto combos in this game are like in Dragon Ball, where the hitboxes are just absurd and you got stuff like Bardock or UI Goku's auto combos being really, really strong, or you don't have like head invulnerable moves like the end of Bardock auto combo, or SJ4 Gogeta's auto combo or something like that. You don't got overheads like Blue Gogeta. You don't have command grabs like Vegito and Labco 21 or Android 16. Like, you don't have a weird cross up like Beerus. No, your auto combo is a second hit and then the final hit that just ranks up the combo limit meter, because it has extra hits then, and it's a little cinematic. You could use it to combo into things normally you can't do, but it's not like any particularly crazy attack. So they could just bring it back if they really wanted to. Honestly, I probably wouldn't mind it too much. But what I do want, though, instead, is for them to just shorten the recovery time, literally just by half. If jabs are like 12 frames recovery, then we're peachy. We're perfect, right? Because that means you can actually whiff a jab and not feel like you die for it. Another thing I would do, which does kind of relate to this, but not entirely, is that normal should carry dash momentum. So I noticed, maybe it's because I'm playing Ghost Rider and Ghost Rider has a slow dash, but I noticed that there are no dash momentum normals, right? So I dash and I press light. I did not slide. I did not carry dash momentum. I just stopped in place and did not my light. And that felt bad because lights have little range and they have a fuck ton of recovery. So it just felt like, wow, if this was literally any other fucking fighting game, I would have at least had my light get blocked so I could like do something. But no, that's not how it works. You don't carry dash momentum. I would add a little bit of dash momentum carryover because it really felt like you needed it. So that's another thing that I felt kind of bad that I wish would potentially get addressed. Trying to think of anything else. Off the top of my head, I think that's pretty much all my thoughts, all the good and the bad, my opinions on the open beta. Generally speaking, I really like the game, and I'm going to be playing it a lot on release. Honestly, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm going to quit Under Night. So, I mean, I kind of already did. I'm basically not actively playing it, but I'm just going to play Tōkon and Avatar. That's kind of what I'm going to play. I will practice Under Night for any events I want to actually play it in, but I'm basically just going to focus on Tōkon and Avatar fighting game wise, because I'm going to be playing Marvel Rivals still. Probably not as seriously as I used to take it, but I do love that game, even though it's pretty bad right now. It's not in a great state. It honestly hasn't been in a great state for a long time. The one time it was in a really good state, they hotfixed it a day later and kind of ruined that. So, yeah. I'm going to be playing a lot of Tōkon and a lot of Avatar, so expect a lot more content from that. Expect tournament VODs, expect combo videos potentially, me talking about certain characters, me talking about my tier list opinions down the line, and so on and so forth. So, without further ado, I think that's good enough for this video. I will see you guys eventually next time I upload a video. Let's see. So I will be uploading 2. Is it 2? Maybe 3. I will be uploading the rest of my Tōkon beta matches. They're all going to be at 6 p.m. each day. And so you'll notice there's no match today, I think. If I'm not mistaken, there's no match today, but I don't remember. But I will be uploading the rest of the matches like that, 6 p.m. every day until I run out. And then I will be uploading the VOD for my Cosmic System 6 tournament, which is Avatar and Melty Blood, Action and current code. That's going to happen on Saturday, so the VODs will probably be up on Sunday and Monday, if not both on Sunday. And then I will do a stream on the 6th of August, which is going to be the Marvel Tōkon release. So I'm going to post the VOD either the day of or the day after, and then I'm going to figure out what else I'm going to do. I'll probably record some Ghost Rider combos. I'll probably record some Blade combos and post those up in the future, like 2 weeks after release, maybe a week or 2, depending on how much time I spend labbing Blade himself to see what I can do. But they're all going to be simple things, right? They're going to be simple combos. So whenever I get those out, they're going to be simple, and they're kind of going to be B&B type things. So it's not like any of the crazy shit you saw Justin Wong doing, for example, because he was doing some crazy 80% health combos. I probably won't do those for my combo video. I want to do something kind of simple, mostly for myself, but also a lot of people will be looking for combos that are easy and stable. And that's kind of what I look for. That's kind of what I want to do. Just do simple, easy, stable combos that I can then improve upon as I continue playing. So, yeah. Those are the general plans I have for the next couple of weeks of this channel. And then we'll see from there. I do have 2 other videos that I'm working on that are going to be long, and they're going to be scripted, and they're going to require a lot of work. So I've been working on those on the background. I'll let you know more information about those when I can. But that's about it. So, all things considered, I really like the game. Can't wait for it. And without further ado, I'm going to leave you guys with that. I hope you enjoy the rest of the matches that I'm going to upload. Check out the rest of my channel. I got a lot of cool stuff there. You know, Zuko combos, Avatar matches, a video about chip kills, an analysis on Chase by Bata, the JoJo Part 4 Opening 2. So check out the channel, like, subscribe. It helps out a lot. If you got any questions or comments or concerns, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I try to respond to any comments that I can, especially if there's questions or if they disagree with me, then I talk about that with them and, you know, like, discuss our difference of opinions in a civil manner, hopefully. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be seeing you later, and peace out.